Okay, good evening everybody, and welcome to our Thursday night opportunity call, where we are going to be telling you all about our incredible products and our amazing work from home business opportunity. And we are going to get started right away with our lovely Howard, who is going to tell you all about our amazing products.
Yes, good evening, lovely Howard here, and a warm welcome to everybody, especially those people who are joining us perhaps for the first time. It's my great honour to actually present the Juice Plus product range. This was something I came across really at the end of 2013 when an old friend of mine got in touch with me, and I'm just going to describe, give an overview of exactly what it is that we have. So if we can move on to the first slide, please. And here is more or less the range that we have, and I'm going to take you through these in turn. Starting with dead center, which was where the company started with the Juice Plus capsules. You've got red, you've got green, you've got purple. You can see there, those are fruit, vegetables, and berries. And if we go to the next slide, the great thing about those capsules is that there are the phytonutrients, the micronutrients of no fewer than 30 different fruits and vegetables in that. And why do we need these? Because we basically don't eat enough. There have been innumerable studies carried out that have clearly demonstrated, and the statistics there are really quite frightening. Adults, nearly the best part of 90% of people do not eat enough vegetables, and nearly 60% do not eat enough fruit. But in children, it's much, much worse. Well over 90% of 6 to 12-year-olds don't eat enough fruits and vegetables, and over 70% of youngsters younger than that. So these statistics really aren't good at all, and something needs to be done. We move on. So, as I mentioned, 30 different types of fruits and vegetables in those Juice Plus capsules that you saw the picture of a little earlier. And you can see the different varieties of fruits within different items within the fruit, vegetable, and berry blend. And there'll be one or two things that you have heard of there, and perhaps one or two things that you haven't. But more importantly, you've got a complete range of things that you will like, but more importantly, things that you and your body and your body's organs need day in, day out. And that is the problem. We've all heard of 5 a day, and I think we all know that that really isn't enough. Studies show that between 7 and 13 portions of fruit and vegetables are required on a daily basis. So we cover all bases and a few more. We provide 30. And if we look at things like in the fruit blend, you'll see not just cherry, but acerola cherry. Why is that? Because acerola cherry is the cherry variety with the which is most nutrient dense. It's got the most key antioxidants, polyphenols, these key components that are vital for human health. And other things there within the berry blend, bilberries, blueberries, blackberries, elderberries, all these different things that are brought together to ensure that we have more than, well, not more than that, but we have exactly what we require in a balanced, easy to take format. We move on. So what Juice Plus does is they have formed long-term relationships, principally with family growers who often does not produce a better quality product. And here we have Bill, our cranberry farmer, I think he's in Wisconsin from memory. And Juice Plus in North America are the second biggest buyer of cranberries. Ocean Spray, that very well-known brand of cranberry juice, not surprisingly, are the leaders. So what the company has always focused on is quality, and focusing on quality products from which they can actually derive the micronutrients that go into the capsules. Move on to the next slide. And perhaps one thing that this certainly attracted me when I first came across this business is the company's interest in investment in children. With the Healthy Starts for Families program, children between, in fact, young kids from the age of 4 right up to very big kids at the age of 21 can receive Juice Plus near as damn it free. All you have to pay for is the shipping. The actual product is free for them. What the company asks for in return is a questionnaire to be filled in every 3 or 4 months, which noting any physiological or behavioral changes within the child. And what this has led to, this started well over 15 years ago. It's led to the largest ever study of children's nutrition and children's health ever conducted. Over 1.5 million families have been through this process. So the data really, really means something. So let's have a look at that. If we go to the next slide. before we do that, or sorry, thanks, James. After 1 year of participation within that program, 71% of children and teenagers consume less fast food and soft drinks. Now, we all know that these products are widely available. They're very, very heavily marketed, and often as not targeting children. So to see 71% reducing their intake of these things, which are heavily sugared, full of chemicals, full of caffeine, often as not, has got to be a good thing. 89% are more aware of their own health. In other words, what's good and what's bad. 71% are drinking more water, which is obviously a good thing, very important to remain hydrated. But perhaps the most telling statistic is that bottom one. 61% of children, as a result of taking Juice Plus, are eating more fruits and vegetables. So what does that tell you? It tells you that what the body is consuming, the body craves more of. So you're putting in, albeit in the form of a whole food supplement, putting that into the child ingests that, but as a result of that, they want more of the real thing. So they're actually consuming much, much more of the good stuff that they need to be eating. That has got to be good news. If you move to the next slide. So I mentioned a little bit earlier that one of the key attractions for me was the amount of science that actually backs up what Juice Plus actually does. And that's actually a slight lie. With more than 30 studies, actually more than 40 now. There are 41 peer-reviewed scientific and clinical reviews covering a whole many different areas which are key elements of human health. And they are shown to actually be enhanced as a result of taking Juice Plus. And we look at those in turn. The immune system, my goodness me. It was probably about 18 months ago that not everybody knew what the immune system was. Now the whole planet does. And there are 4 studies that show that Juice Plus supports, maintains, and promotes a healthy immune system. That's pretty important, I think we'd all agree. Over and above that, it protects our DNA. It also improves the quality of our skin health through the microcirculation of blood within capillaries within the skin. It also improves dental health, combats oxidative stress, which often as not is a precursor, one of the precursors to disease in older age, and is also good for our blood vessels and our cardiovascular, our heart, cardiovascular wellness. So all these pillars of human health are actually enhanced by taking Juice Plus. That body of science is irrefutable. Nothing else comes remotely close, and is a massive fillip to the Juice Plus brand as a whole. If we move to the next slide. More recently, we talked about the fruits, vegetables, and berries capsules, but more recently, within the last 3-4 years, they wanted to address another area that is absolutely key to our health as well, and that is of omega oils, omega fatty acids. Now, not all are able to be produced by the body. We do need to obtain them from our diet. Why do we need them? We need them because they are very, very important for brain health, for our heart once again, for our eyes, for our skin and our joints. And these, as I say, have to be supplemented by our diet. But that's not always terribly easy, or the choices may not sort of sit terribly well with everyone. For instance, omega-3 and 6, often as not, is obtained through fish oil. I'm sure most of you, if not taking some sort of omega-3 supplement, have certainly heard of it, either through oily fish or through typically krill oil. Now, there's a problem with that. The first one is possibly one of taste. Fishy burps aren't the most attractive thing when they start to repeat on you. But over and above that, you have the sustainability of fishing. Already fish stocks around the world are under immense pressure through supplying the world's population. But quite apart from that, you have various contaminants that do appear within fish. There, mercury possibly being one of the best known ones, but also dioxins, an environmental pollutant. Check them out. They are not nice at all, and they can appear in fish and seafood. And the big one, which everybody is now thinking about, is plastic. The amount of plastic in the ocean breaking down into microplastics being ingested by fish, and guess what? We eat the fish, we eat the plastic. We avoid the fish, we sidestep it, we bypass it. We go past the fish to the algae that they consume, and that can be grown outside of the marine environment. So therefore, we can cold press that, obtain the omega-3 and 6, but over and above that, those other items that you see there, pomegranate seed, sea buckthorn, raspberry seed, safflower, and tomato seed, ensure that our omega capsules have not one, not two, but 5 omegas 3, 5, 6, 7, and 9 all in one capsule. They've proven a massive hit since they were introduced. I absolutely adore these. Skin condition has never been better. My other half says her skin condition in terms of its elasticity and its overall condition has improved as a result of taking these. So a fantastic addition to the range, which is now really well established. Move on to the next slide, please. So moving on away from the capsules, the complete range began with a plant-based protein shake in consultation with elite athletes. And you may think, well, I'm an elite athlete. In fact, I don't even sort of work out. So why do I need this? Well, this is an amazingly versatile product. Sorry, James, can we go back to the complete, please? Thank you. The 2 pouches on the right, you'll see a pale beige one and a dark brown one. You've got a chocolate and vanilla plant-based protein shake. Now, the beauty of these is that there are approximately just over 200 calories per serving. So there is the opportunity to use it as a meal replacement. So whether for weight management, be it up, be it down, it's incredibly versatile like for that reason. When I came across it, I was looking for something for post-exercise. I was doing a lot of cycling at the time, and post either a spin class or a club ride or cycling in an event, this really was a fantastic way to help your body recover. Operates at a cellular level and helps your body recover from the stress of strenuous exercise. But it's incredibly versatile. I now have one every morning for my breakfast. And at weekends, the limit is your imagination. You can make the most wonderful smoothies using this as a base. Over and above that, on the left-hand side, you'll see a couple of bars. We have a chocolate and a mixed fruit bar, healthy snacks on the go, fantastic, very easy to sort of store away in a bag or your pocket or something. If you're out and about, this, again, plenty of energy, which is released very slowly, low glycemic index energy, which is released into the system. And that is very, very useful. And in the middle there, you'll see the complete soup, which is very, very popular in wintertime, and actually has the highest amount of protein per unit of the range that's there. So a very versatile range, and something that again has proven incredibly popular with our customer base. And most recently, the last product that we actually had, can we go back, please, James? Thank you. Is our Uplift, which is an all-natural energy drink. And I mentioned earlier about the highly marketed energy drinks that are regularly available. I don't have to name them. We all know them. Yes, they do a job, but what is the cost of that? They are massive amounts of processed sugar, chemicals, synthetic caffeine that's been synthesized rather than appears naturally. We have natural sugar in the form of fructose. We have natural caffeine from the yerba mate plant, and also we have essential B vitamins from mango, guava, and lemon peel. Now, what are they all about? What they do is they really help with mental acuity. So if you it might be late morning, it might be early afternoon, you have sometimes that lull. One of these can really sort of get into the system quickly and give you that boost, and it's all natural, nothing synthetic at all. That's what we like, and I think you've probably got the impression now, or realize that what we have is an entirely natural whole food range. So if we go to the last slide now, and what we have there, on the left, we can go right back to the capsules. And I didn't actually mention about the pouches there, which are our gummy versions, which are for young kids. That gives you maintenance. It's like the health safety net that really does protect it. It is great for your all-round health, for you and also your family. In the center, we have the complete range I've just talked about, which offers control, versatility, and effectively a nutritionally balanced meal. And lastly, for performance, to ensure that you are really on your game the whole time, you've got a natural energy drink in the form of Uplift. Watch out, guys, because there's some very exciting news that we're going to have coming that is going to complement our product range massively. And just remember the words Tower Garden. And if you don't know what that is, talk to the person who invited you to this call and they can give you some more details. That's my time. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you found that useful, and I'll hand you back to Sara.
Thank you Howard, I really, really love your product presentation. Absolutely amazing. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I always love hearing about our amazing products. So thank you. And we are now going to hear from some people who are already on the products and see what they are thinking of them so far. And up first, we have got Carl.
Yes, you do. Sorry. I was trying to couldn't make it. Hi, everyone. Yeah, my name's Carl. I came across the Juice Plus products just over 12 months ago, actually, in the first lockdown. And at the time, I was really worried about the amount of hair I was losing due to hereditary baldness. My dad, my uncle, my granddad, everyone's bald. So I had these 2 bald patches on my head. I was, waking up every morning feeling rubbish because I was a heavy smoker. I ate the wrong things. I did the wrong things. Anyway, I came across these products, was a little skeptical at first, had a look into the research that Howard just mentioned and was kind of sold. So I went to try the products, started with the capsules, and within a few weeks, I was feeling amazing, starting to wake up with energy, wake up feeling good. And I just went on a transformation from there. And last year, over the first 3 months, went on a 90-day challenge, changed my body completely, helped a load of friends do the same. Not gonna lie, had a baby this year, kind of fallen off the wagon a bit on the whole program, going to get back on, which is a good thing because that helps with something I'm going to talk about later in this call. And just honestly, the journey's just been incredible from there. I'm now at a point where my bald patches are gone, like I've got real hair growth, like new hair growth, which is amazing. Still feel fresh every single day. I've helped my mum, my sister, my friends, whether they were losing weight, getting better skin, whatever it was incredible. And as Howard mentioned, about the tower garden, I'm literally, as we speak, just trimming my tower garden right now. She's just here, and I'm getting absolutely tons. Look at all this pak choy, all this here. It's absolutely incredible, and it took less than 4 weeks to grow. So I'm going to hand you back over now and say, try all the products.
Wow, sorry, my jaw's literally like, oh my God. Did you say that was all in 4 weeks?
Yeah, all in 4 weeks. So like,
Let's have
piles of I don't know if you can see it there, piles of pak choy. I've got like different lettuces, loads of different kinds of leaves. Got some rainbow chard. I don't know if you can see that there. And then around here, you've got Asian greens, just down at the bottom, loads of lettuce. And we've just pollinated the peas today. So we're going to get sugar snap peas in the next couple of weeks. So yeah, a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, honestly.
Wow, I'm so jealous right now. I need a tower garden so badly. I'm just shuffling things around, trying to find out where we're going to fit them. But at this rate, like the kids' toys are going to get thrown. I'm going to have my very own tower garden. Thank you very much, Carl, for sharing that with us. So I'm just briefly going to tell you a little bit about my product journey. I first came across the Juice Plus products well over 5 years ago now, which sounds like a really long time. But when I did come across Juice Plus, I was not in a good state at all, physically or mentally. I was severely overweight, and most importantly for me, I was suffering really badly with depression and anxiety. I had a few years before that, I started suffering severely with alopecia. But it was really horrendous. I lost all of my hair and my eyebrows and my lashes and absolutely everything, in the space of a very short period. And obviously, as you can imagine, that then caused a lot of depression and anxiety for me. I got to the stage where I wouldn't even leave the house. I couldn't even take my own child to nursery because I just didn't like seeing anyone or speaking to anyone, and was seeing a counsellor and then put on medication. And as maybe some of you can relate, when you are put on medication like antidepressants, it can also cause a lot of weight gain. So it's just sort of like a vicious cycle and a knock-on effect. And I wasn't taking care of my health at all. But, that went on for a couple of years. And then I did get to the stage where I thought something has to change. I cannot carry on like this. It's okay to sort of feel sorry for yourself for a little while, but you do have to pick yourself up and carry on. So I came across the Juice Plus products online. And the thing that really attracted me to the products was firstly that they was vegan and plant-based, because I looked at the chewables for my son. At the time, we had him on a gluten and dairy-free diet. So I was looking for a way that I could get some fruit and veg into his system because he won't eat any at all. So that's actually the first thing that drew me into the products. And then there were all these people and they just looked so healthy. When people just look, they've got that healthy glow, and you'll hear all about the Juice Plus glow. They, just look vibrant, full of energy, exercising, having loads of fun, and just, really energetic. So I thought, I'm going to give this a go. So I started on the products. I was massively skeptical. It took me 8 months to say yes to get on plan. I heard that it was £35 for the shakes, and I was like, what? 35 quid? But I did eventually get straight onto the shakes, and it's so strange because you think that at first, and then once you're on the shakes and then you add the other products in, you realise that it honestly is the best investment you will ever make. And we're so quick to, spend a couple of quid a day on, maybe fast food or energy drinks and stuff. And, when you add that all up, it's much, much more than what we pay for our shakes or any of the other products. So within 6 weeks on the shakes, I lost a stone. But more importantly, I noticed my energy levels starting to go up, which for me was a really big thing. I'd suffered with, anemia and no energy my whole life. So to have that extra energy, of course, had that knock-on effect where I could start getting out of the house, woohoo, the old hermit. I started going out again, going for little walks, and then eventually started to do some training. And within, I think, about 6 months, so then I got on the capsules as well that Hal was telling you about. And it's so amazing, the power of nutrition. And I'm now so much more, thoughtful and confident of the things that I put into my body, because I know that there is a direct link between what you consume and how you feel. Obviously, physically and mentally. So, within 6 months of being on the capsules, I was able to come off of my medication. I'm not making any medical claims, and I'm definitely not saying that our products cure depression. But for me, it was definitely, the overall reaction of flooding my body with this great nutrition and exercising and getting out more. So that for me was absolutely amazing. I lost 4 stone in 5 months, and then I took that up to a total loss of 5.5 stone, and just genuinely the healthiest I've ever been. Like, I'm so full of energy. I've got 2 energetic children. I wake up at 5 a.m. every day. I regularly work out. I'm just the complete polar opposite of the Sara who started on the products. And I honestly probably come across as the crazy juice plus lady, but I'm so passionate about our products because they've done so much for me. And I know that every single person would massively benefit from our products. And they are not just weight loss products. I always have to stress that, because a lot of people think, we're going to have the shakes to lose weight. Of course you can use them to lose weight, but they are so much more than that. There's so much more than that. So I'll stop, because if I talk about the products, I could just go and go and go and go. But we're now going to move over to the business side of things, and we're going to hear all about it from our lovely Carl, if he's finished chopping the pak choy.
I've not, but I am back. Can you hear me? Yeah, you can see. Lovely. All right, great stuff. Yeah, so when we found the products a year ago, right, I was actually at the point where I just lost pretty much all of my income due to the lockdown restrictions and due to the pandemic. So I was very much a customer-facing kind of person, and I was really happy when I found out that there was this little business that comes alongside these amazing products that I just found. And essentially it meant that I could, earn extra money from home. Sorry, I'm moving around a lot, but as you saw, I was in the middle of something. But and it's incredible. It's a global business supporting you around the world, and it was so easy to start. So I gave it a shot. Within the first month, I was earning a few extra £100 a month, which was perfect for me. It was helping me out with my bills. It was helping me out with my rent. I'm now building my business, scaling my business every single day. With a team of people who are doing the same. So I'll just briefly go over how essentially we earn money from doing that. And there's 4 ways we do. First of all, we have our own e-commerce website, and essentially the products get drop shipped to our customers, and all the products are subscription based. So essentially, whenever a customer is reordering, we get paid again. So we get paid for the lifetime of the customer on retail commission. We can then build teams, which is starting to, essentially get employees, but much easier than getting employees would be in a normal business. And then we can scale our business, get into clubs and networks, and I'll go over that very briefly. But let's start with the e-commerce page. You get your own website. It's got its own back office. You get digital assets to share, and you also get lots and lots of training. And from the minute you join, you're getting 10% retail profit from anything that sells on your website. And that's 10% recurring commission for the entire time your customer decides to enjoy the products. So for example, if someone's on the Healthy Starts for Families program, which you can receive free products for up to 4 years, you could pay paid for 4 years for more. There's people who've got customers who've been in the business for 20, 30 years, and they're still getting paid on just introducing someone to something they're going to love. So if you did get customers and you got 2 a month, you could get an extra $2,500 a year. 4 a month, and then 5 a month, 6 a month. It just doubles as it goes. And essentially, you're going to get a chance to, earn a few £100 to pay the bills, maybe pay off a credit card, go on a holiday. I don't know. If you could get 2 customers a month looking at that picture, what would you do with an extra £2,500 a year? And another way of looking at it as well is how much time, effort, stress, fights, and whatever would I have to put in my current job to try and get a promotion that was worth an extra £2,500, £5,000, £7,500, £10,000 a year. I'm pretty sure it's a mammoth task, and I've been in the corporate world. I understand it completely. So you can build a retail business. Now, what you can also do is you can start to build a team. So that's essentially scaling your business. It's like having employees, but without having to do any of the hard work, any of the expensive recruiting that companies have to do, and the expensive training and putting it all together, and the time and all that is done for you. All you have to do is introduce people to the opportunity of how to earn money, and then show them how to do it, which your team help you do. Your upline help you do, the people who invite you into the business. And if you find 3 people who are all finding 2 customers each a month, within 12 months, you're earning an extra £10,000 a year because you've all got 24 customers each, or, the equivalent in sales of what that would be. And think about it, then it's only going to grow. So the way that you're on here listening to this business and listening to these presentations and our stories, you would invite other people, and other people will then invite other people to do the same. And this is a great Plan B opportunity for you, maybe. If that's the case, then there's at least 3 more people, 12 more people, 24 thousands more people just like you who would love the opportunity to earn an extra few £100 a month. And as that team grows, you're going to get to £2,500 a month, or £30,000 a year. So what we're trying to do here is just show the what is actually possible with this business. And you might be sat there thinking it's going to take a lot of time, it's going to take a lot of effort. You obviously have to work on anything that you want to start in your life. But the best thing about this business is it's simple, it's duplicatable, and we all just do the same thing consistently, and our business grows and our network grows because we meet new people every day. We meet new people online, we meet new friends through friends and through friends, and eventually that network can grow. It can grow to as big as 360 people, and you can see how quickly that can happen with you finding a team and them finding a team and so on. If they're all on their products and they're spending £100 each a month, you're earning an extra £1,000 a month. Okay, this is from your e-commerce retail business only. If those people decide to join the business, well, that's when your business starts to really take off, and you can earn £13,500 a month from those 360 people. Now you may be thinking, I don't know 360 people. You don't need to. You just need to know 3 people who can then knows 3 more people, and then knows 3 more people. And as long as we all stay consistent and we all just enjoy what we're doing, it's going to naturally grow. Because as you just heard us all raving about the products, most people who come on the products absolutely rave about them, and rave about them to other people who then want to either buy the products or join the business. And that just keeps going. This company's been around for 50 years. Now imagine that becomes 5 people who find another 5 who find another 5. Very quickly, some people have amassed 4,000 people in their network. It can take time. It can take, a short amount of time or a long amount of time. The company's been around for 50 years. They're going to be around for another 50 more. It's going to keep growing. And eventually, in your part-time, as a Plan B side income, just something to help, if anything, God forbid, happens like what's happened again, you could amass yourself, should I say, £11,000 a month, nearly £12,000 a month. Are you earning that right now? Well, the fact is you could with this business over a long period of time, committing to it. But it doesn't stop there, right? Because you can join the business. And if so many people decide to join the business because we're all doing well, we're all enjoying ourselves, you can amass, 146,000 a month and even more. And this is sounding crazy, right? This is sounding like, whoa, what are we talking about? This is huge money. Look, this is just what can amass because of the business model. The business model has been designed to help everybody succeed. Whether you do it in 2 months, 5 months, 5 years, 10 years, whatever it may be, this is possible in this business. Is it possible in your job? That's the question. Is it there to help and support you should anything happen in the future? Could you do with an extra few £100 a month? Could you do with up to £120,000 in bonuses as you grow your business? And that's what happens. As your business gets bigger, the company rewards you with promotions and bonuses, extra commission, extra money, and up to £120,000. So not only could you earn up to 140 odd grand a month and more, you could amass £120,000 in bonuses while you build your business and meet a whole community of fantastic people and make probably the best friends you'll ever make. And lastly, just think about it. There's a guy who just went to the edge of space. And, if somebody had offered him an amazing opportunity, but he wasn't sure how to do it, pretty sure he wasn't sure how to get to the edge of space when he started, you know what? He just said yes. And he learned how to do it along the way. And he beat Jeff Bezos to it. But apparently not, because of I don't know, read the articles. But anyway, yes, you can do it if I can do it. I can do it if Richard can do it. And just give it a go and see. I'll hand you back over.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Carl. I love hearing all about the business and the plan and the possibilities as well. And I think a lot of people don't know the full potential of the business. And maybe like myself, I started because I wanted to earn, just a couple of £100 a month. I was in well over £15,000 of debt when I first started, and I'd, had to leave my job. I had no way of paying that back. And 5 years later, I'm debt free and I earn amazing income from this business, and I absolutely love it. It's real job satisfaction to be able to help other people achieve their health goals, earn more money, and in turn achieve your own business goals at the same time. And I think that's even one thing that we take for granted is job satisfaction. There's a huge percentage of people, and I used to be one of them for sure, who really don't like their job, or really perhaps don't like their boss. Maybe not everyone, but it was definitely me. And also for me, one of the things that I definitely think I take for granted now, because I've been doing this for so long, we get to work from home. We get to work from anywhere. We choose our hours, we choose our colleagues. We choose what level of commitment we put into the business. As I said, I'm a full-time mum to my 2 children, and I can fit it in around their schedules. They're both absolute lunatics. So, for me to be able to do a couple of hours, that's true, I promise you, to do a couple of hours when they're in bed of an evening, of course, it's a sacrifice at times, but would I rather do what I do now of an evening and get my pens and paper out, catch up with my clients, catch up with my team, or be that crazy mum who has to do the drop off with the childcare, rush off to work? And I've got 3 sisters and they all work in corporate jobs, and the 6 weeks holidays are an absolute nightmare. They're sort of saying, "Mum, can you do this?" They're all fighting over my mum at the moment. They're saying, "Can you do this week? Can you do this week?" And I'm so fortunate that I don't have to do any of that. And another big side of our business is the social life and the friendships and the community. As I said, I felt really isolated after having my first child, and the friends I've made throughout this business, the events that we have are absolutely amazing. We're doing a road trip to Manchester next week. I'm laughing because I must be crazy. I'm driving a 10-hour round trip, but I'm just so excited that the events are back and we're going to get to see people in person. And we've also got a mega convention coming up in October. We don't know where it's going to be just yet, but even in the time I've been here, we've been to Barcelona, Edinburgh, all over the UK. And on those conventions, we have 2 days of training, recognition. You get up on stage, you get all your lovely trophies. Any opportunity to show my trophy, because I didn't get to walk the stage with it because it was COVID, so I'll just wave that about. But honestly, this business, there's absolutely nothing that I could say that I dislike about this business. It's all pluses, and I could not recommend it enough. And I'm going to hand you over to James, and he'll tell you a little bit about his business story too.
Okay, yeah, so thanks, Sara. That's amazing. I mean, 5 years, wow, so much has happened for you, and it's incredible, but it's getting better and better all the time, and we are super excited. So roll the clock back. Sara's been involved and doing so well for 5 years. Well, I started, or I've been involved for 33 years. So and obviously these predate social media, this predates virtually the mobile phone. But the opportunity then was, as well, it's certainly not quite as great as it is today, because obviously things have moved on and people are so much more health conscious now. But it was a very, very real opportunity when I first saw this. And I saw the opportunity for freedom. That's what I saw. I saw the opportunity to be able to own my own life. And I remember when I first started working, I thought, oh my goodness, I really don't want this. I don't want this sort of sense of being owned by someone else and hours. And, you know, I got exhausted, you know, frankly, and I didn't really want it at all. So when I saw this, I thought, wow, you know, this is my opportunity, but I couldn't really imagine myself doing it. I have to be honest. But I was captivated by the company. I loved the company. I found them very, very authentic. And I loved the product. And I thought, look, if this worked for other people, it has to work for me. Somehow it's got to work for me. So I just went to work and I started talking to people. And one thing led to another. And by 1991, so I started in 88, by 1991, I had turned an annual salary into a monthly income. Yes. And no one was more surprised than me. I thought, oh my goodness, this is incredible. But the really, really interesting thing, and I just finished with this, the really interesting thing about our business is that we are now perfectly coinciding with the new Amazon reality of our world, where so much is online. I was in a taxi today talking to the taxi driver, and he said, look, all of the shops are empty. Oxford Street is empty. Regent Street is empty. Things have changed, probably forever. Everybody has gone online. And I personally think that online is the defining element of the business age that we're in. And if we don't have an online business, we're simply not on track. And Juice Plus is a perfect online business that we can run, but so easily manage, and it's all done for us. So I couldn't be more excited about the future. And obviously seeing Carl's Tower Garden this evening makes me so excited, because of course that is another huge opportunity we've got with the Tower Garden. So I'll hand back to Sara. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, James. I always find it quite amazing that you've been in the business for my whole life. I'm 33 this year. We've definitely got longevity in the business. So we are going to move on to our final speaker and our special guest speaker this evening, who is Sean Jackson, all the way from Holland. And we are super excited to welcome you to the call.
Thank you very much, Sarah.
Hello, how are you?
Good to see you all, and thank you for inviting me. It's an honour, absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, absolutely perfect.
Great.
Sean, if you just want to take it away and just tell us a little bit about your story, your Juice Plus journey.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, my story really, well, yeah, I'm like James in a way. We are sort of the, how can I put it? So the pioneers, you might put it that way. I was shown this business back in the early 90s. And at the time I was a police officer, working a lot of hours, and often it was on a 7-day week, 1 weekend off a month situation. And I was actually trying to recover from something called ME. I don't know if you've come across ME. It's like a post-viral fatigue syndrome. And, you know, I tried conventional medicine, I tried alternative or complementary and all that. And nothing really seemed to work. And it was only when I was introduced to Juice Plus that suddenly I seemed to be improving drastically, massively, quickly, you know. And I thought, hang on, this is something extremely powerful. And decided really to get going. And I think it came at a point in my life, I suppose, where my perception, I suppose, of the world had changed. And at this particular moment, I think we can maybe relate to that a little bit with everything that's happening to us, you know, whether we know everything or not. We're in a very, very strange situation over the last year, 18 months and beyond. But suddenly I realized, I don't know if anybody else has ever had that, but I suddenly had this feeling of, what am I doing here? You know, and I was thinking, hang on, what's this all about? You know, where am I in this world? And, you know, shouldn't I take more control of my destiny, to put it that way? And I think it really that my brain in a way was sort of taking over, and I was thinking, hang on, you know, I really have to find another way, you know, to improve my life and of my family. So this came at a very interesting point for me. You know, I didn't want that situation where my destiny was somehow printed on my birth certificate. You know what I mean? It's like, what I'm doing now is what I'm going to do forever. And I think I realized that when I was shown this business, and ironically, I was shown another business from this industry called Amway. I don't know if anybody's ever come across that before, but it wasn't the right one for me. And it's strangely, I'd seen it, and it was a colleague of mine that introduced me to it. And I could see the potential of it, but and I knew, there are obviously people earning great incomes from it as well, but I couldn't relate to that. I couldn't relate to, all the literally a myriad, thousands of different products that they sell. And I couldn't get my head around it, whereas when I was shown this business, what I loved was the simplicity of it. Basically, the simplicity, the fact that, I could just, focus on a relatively narrow product line, but with a massive timing, great sort of potential, with a product that nobody had, and it was price to sell, price for profit, and all those sort of important factors. But the fact was that I got better. I certainly got my health back, and I was used to being sort of in sports. I used to do a lot of running. I do a lot of cycling. I've gone back really more or less to my full time, or my first love, to put it that way, of sport. But what I realized at the beginning was, you get back what you put in. And it was a situation where I thought, okay, I'm going to set some goals. I've never been told about goals before. And I realized that, I had to set a few goals, apparently. And one thing was that I thought, okay, I have to set a sort of time span on this. And I thought, okay, if I give myself 12 months of part-time, I would like to be full-time. And at the same time, I came across people who became effectively my mentor in a sort of subconscious way as much as anything, but such as Jim Rohn. And if you haven't I'm sure most people on this call have heard something from Jim Rohn, but he's kept me going over the years. And certainly, his, what's my favorite listen to is building your network marketing business. Whenever I'm wondering where to go, that's my go-to. I go to Jim Rohn. He answers all the questions and ticks all the boxes, and it just puts me straight, on every single. Okay, he's not of the present moment, let's put it that way, sadly. But at the end of the day, what he says is pure gold. It's about people, and it's about getting your brain right, your perception of what we're doing. And so basically, I got going and made sales coordinator pretty quickly. And, how can I put it? Several things had a big influence on my beginning. And I always say to people, if you're going to get going quickly from the get-go, from the moment you get started. Don't delay. And I tried to duplicate my sponsor at the time, and that seemed to work. And an incentive that worked for me, and we have some amazing incentives, but one that worked for me at the time was, if I got to SC, sales coordinator, the position of maximum profit, I would go to this sales coordinator millionaires training, in Trentham Gardens. And whoever might remember that, I don't know if you remember that, James, but anyway, it was a long time ago. And but several things came from that that sales coordinator weekend, and there was literally some big hitters that come over, millionaires in the business that come over from America, and a few things really stuck with me from that. And one was the importance of performance bonus. How important it is to qualify for your performance bonus. And ever since that month, which was effectively I went SC in my second month and went to this training in my third month. And from there on, I've qualified for SC. And just interesting, I don't know if I'm supposed to be on screen here at this moment, but I see James at this moment. No, I don't know.
You can share a screen, yeah. You want to share your screen?
Yeah, just a moment. I am sharing. Am I not? Yeah.
Yeah, you're cleared for that.
That's okay. All right. Yeah, it's okay. Just wondered if everything was working as it should. That's fine. So yeah, and the other thing was that I remember this guy called Jim Vaughan. He was a big American guy, and he said the importance is to keep it simple. He said, this guy, he asked me, he said, how does it work? I told him it works good. And ever since then, I've sort of tried to do the very same. And, in this time when we have 40 gold standard research studies, it's so easy to complicate this business and complicate the story, but just keep it simple. It's fruits and vegetables in a capsule. That's it. you know, it's a duh sort of moment, isn't it? You know, it works, it just works. And we've got all the evidence and all the proof. If people want to see it, we can show them the right direction. And those are two things I got from that. And the other major thing that I was very glad I did, and that was I went to America for a convention. Then at that moment, America was the big picture. Certainly, you know, you went to a convention, and I think my first one in Memphis, something like 10, 11,000 people were there. And I visited the office, and it gave me a connection with the company and with the president, Jay Martin, and so on. And it gave me a vision for the future. And I've always held on to that, you know, even through times when I've wondered, you know, maybe, you know, were we doing the right thing, you know, with the company and so on. And at times the UK did its own thing. And I think we should have maybe looked at what the Americans were doing, or maybe what the Germans were doing, you know, but we got a bit distracted, you know, through the 90s. I think James might sort of concur on this one. You know, we got into security and, you know, God knows, creams, goodness knows, beauty products at one point.
They all worked. They all worked.
All worked, yeah. Yeah, they did. They all worked, but it was a distraction from our Juice Plus. I think that's what it was really. And so, you know, I went to Q 13 months into the business, and I had a check in that from that month, which was like several times my monthly salary. And I thought that was the moment that I went full time. And I thought I was just going to go NMD, you know, I thought that was just a matter of time. And we're talking about the old plan, the old marketing plan. And of course you had to be qualified for something like 6 months, wasn't it, James? You know, you had to do so much volume and so on. That's the way it was. And NMDs then, you know, you could put them around a dining room table, couldn't you? we didn't have many, you know, in the UK at the time. And I was a Q, and often, you know, it was quite nice, really. I was treated very well as a Q, but I got a bit too complacent, I think, and I let time and the grass grow under my feet, and I was comfortable, you know, as a Q. And then I think, you know, some sort of moment happened when, in fact, I'd moved to Holland by this point. You know, David Sparchat, bless him and God rest his soul, he went to NMD. And I thought, hang on, isn't that where I should be? You know, and it gave me a kick up the, you know, where, and I got the job done, basically. You know, I built a whole new business, and that is actually a principle I should have held on to from the early days, because we used to have this saying, you know, the business that gets you to one position does not get you to the next position. Yeah, and that is still the fact. You know, we still think we're going to continue with the same business and it will just grow. You know, you basically still need to keep in the growth mode. You need to keep in the business building mode to reach higher levels. And so finally, I was NMD, and yeah, it was a great feeling. And obviously living here in Holland at that time, and I met my wife Celia, who I think is somewhere on this call. Maybe I should go on to gallery view. Anyway, whatever. And yeah, so we basically built a business and a life here. And I think this is, oh yeah, sorry, I've just missed out something else, which was something important and to my business building, let's put it that way. I also watched a videotape early on by a guy, an Oriental guy by the name of Daniel Demakali. And he came out with, do you remember that, anybody? He came out with the principle of sponsoring up. Anybody come across that principle? Rather than taking it to the opportunity to those that we think need it, we take it to those that are already successful or have a burning desire to be successful, and will do what it takes. And I think, you know, and it's based on the idea is that you rate yourself 1 to 10, you know, 10 being the ultimate, you know, and if you rate yourself 7s, you're looking for other 7s or 8s or so on. And that also gave me a view and a perception of the sort of people that we should be looking for to build a successful business. I mean, it takes all kinds of people in our business, and some see the big picture and some see whatever, you know, an extra income, and that's really how it starts for a lot of people. I was lucky in that you know, I felt inspired to earn an income that would make me effectively financially independent. And what is that? You know, what is financial independence at the end of the day? I remember hearing from a guy, and it was on a tape, actually, an old audio tape. And he said, basically, you decide what financial independence means to you. What income do you need to live the life that you want to live? You know, what is it? You've got to maybe give yourself a figure. You know, what is it that you need? Maybe it's 50,000 a year or 100,000 a year or whatever it might be. And I thought, okay, that makes sense. So you can design your life with this business. You decide what income stream you can or want to achieve. And if you want to change that, you know, fine. There's no ceiling on our income with this business. And this is another thing that caught my imagination right from the beginning. So that was another factor in a way that sort of inspired me, you know, from the beginning. So yeah, having made NMD, really it was just a question of building on from there. And, you know, to the point where I've got a business now, which is in, I don't know, something like 20 countries around the world. It's just the way it's gone. And obviously we've got so much more potential to come. And really that's more or less, I should give you the end result of me going NMD, because we didn't have any bonuses then, you know. And I remember, funny thing was, this is about goal setting again. I was sitting in a pub with Simon Bowler. And this was in November, I think it was, of whatever year it was, maybe year 2000, 2002, something like that, with Doug Arscott, one of our vice presidents. And, you know, we were having a beer. And Doug said to me, he said, when are you going to go NMD? This is when I was still Q. And, you know, when you feel like, oh, it's that moment where you actually have to commit yourself. Because I hadn't really committed myself for a long time before that. And this is an important factor. And he said, well, yeah, listen, if you can get to NMD before February, bearing in mind this was November, and you had to do a qualifying volume, he said, I'll pay for you to go out to San Diego, you know. And I said, great, okay, I'll go for it then. I mean, in my mind, I was thinking sometime in like next August, you know, it was like crazy really, but I tell you, I did more in those 3 months than I'd done in, I don't know, in the previous year or more. And it just shows you what you can do when you put your mind to it. And this business deserves that, you know, because it can give you your dreams effectively. Your dreams can become a reality with this business. So anyway, I made it. I was flown out to San Diego, and Shay O'Brien, bless him, he said, Sean, he said, you're NMD, you know, basically you're a national marketing director. I'm going to take you for a drink. Where's the nearest juice bar? So we went to a local juice bar. So I said, is this my bonus? He said, well, sort of. Anyway, so I was able to choose my beaker of juice, you know. And I'm half joking here because, you know, I did enjoy the juice, but he did take me out for a champagne dinner and so on. But this was in the days before we had these wonderful bonuses, of course, with the marketing plan that we have now. There's so much more I could tell you, but I don't want to go rambling on much further. But basically, that's my story, effectively. And I live a life which is on my terms. And that's what I love about this business. It's you make your life your own. You know, I'm not a great one on social media. I use it, of course, to help expand the business. I'm very old school, really. I certainly believe in live events. Obviously, any events are better than none. But we have a situation right now, of course, where we hope that life is going to become more normal. But I think a lot depends on what we decide. You know, we have to take control of our own lives, not wait for the government to tell us what to do. You know, I think we have to take control.
So, Sean, tell us a little bit about your top tips.
Right. Thank you. Yeah, my top tips. All right. Yeah. Okay. Well, first one has to be, and of course, it's a bit of a cliche, but you have to know your products. You have to know Juice Plus. You have to know the benefits. And I would always recommend everybody to use them all, as many as possible, because what you use, you tend to recommend. And people, you know, they see that, you know, as you recommend it to people, you know, they see that you are talking from experience experience, that you're actually using them and you're seeing the benefits. And I think that also helps you to be an example to others as well. I think, you know, taking Juice Plus and being a partner with Juice Plus, it's up to us actually to live that story, isn't it? So yeah, know the benefits of Juice Plus, enjoy the benefits yourself, and talk about them with others. That's my first tip. You know, and also have that passion for them. I mean, it helped me recover in the first instance, but it's done so much for me and so many people that I know, and my family and so on. Yeah, definitely. I mean, my parents, you know, living in the middle of France, you know, they've been taking Juice Plus almost as long as me. They've been celebrating this week their 59th wedding anniversary, and looking good, you know. So yeah, you know, what can I say? It's helped so many people. I just love this company. I love Juice Plus. I love the products. I don't even like the word product, actually. It's a food support system. That's what I tend to call it. Anyway, second one would be something I used to train on, actually, and that's retention is your pension. Sometimes people are so much in the mode of acquiring new customers, they forget about keeping the ones they've got. And this was a training I used to be asked to give at, you know, various conferences in the past. And it's so important to look after your customers. I've got customers going back, oh God, 25 years, you know, to when I was starting with Juice Plus, and still as happy. And the nice thing is you still go back to them, you know, to tell them about the latest, whatever that product may be. And often they take that because it's an element of trust. They know how good Juice Plus is. So retention, look after your customers. If you can look after them from the beginning, and I never make it a test case. I always say to people, if you're going to start, give it 12 months. I never say just take a box. You know, I always say give it 12 months. Then you can look back and think, okay, what's it done for you? You know, and I always used to give people literally a printed form, and obviously now I send it digitally, but basically it's just a form which they tick their benefits, so they can see over that 12-month period, you know, what are the benefits. You know, they can literally see those benefits, and it reminds them of those. So you know, having a program like that means that, you know, I think as a group, we may not be the fastest at developing new customers, but we certainly are one of the best at retaining them. And I think that is really, you know, what is nice to know is at the beginning of every month, you have that in the bank. You know, you have that stock, that bank of customer volume that's there, you know, constantly. You're just adding to it. Anyway, and obviously in a modern sense, use your support groups, definitely, to help you with that retention program. Third has to be, and obviously having spoken about it, is to set your goals. Goal setting, you know, whatever way you want to put it, it is so important that you do that. And at times I haven't done it, and I have to hold my hands up to that. And when I haven't, I see the difference in myself and my business. You know, it just plateaus. I'm okay, but it's not going where I maybe would like it to go. And just by setting those goals, that, you know, what is that plan? You know, you can talk about the 90-day game plan, whatever, as part of that, but short, medium, long term is important. And, you know, sometimes certain books have an influence on you as well. Have we all read Beach Money by Jordan Adler? Yeah, short book, about 150 pages, but, you know, pure gold again. I mean, he says all the mistakes that he made and all the companies he went through, and that's another story on its own, you know, about being committed to your company. But, you know, he finally realized that you had to set goals. He wrote them down, and I don't have to tell everybody how that goes, but basically, if you haven't read the book, read the book. But it's about making your perceived dreams a reality, and it's like you're living it already. You're already there, and by thinking about it, it comes about. What you think about comes about. You know, that's how it works, really. The brain definitely works on them and works on you. Yeah. Fourth one I would tend to say is, yeah, be fully committed. A lot of people come in this business and they treat it like a £50 business. Oh, okay, I can earn an extra, you know, maybe if I'm lucky, if I get the right person, etc., etc. They don't get serious, and it's crazy. This business has more potential than anything else that I know of out there. So get committed, get passionate about this business, this company. It's you know, it's going places still. I mean, we've been in business for obviously a long time, you know, 50 years, whatever. And who knows what the next 50 years will bring. We'll talk about that maybe after, but at the end of the day, treat it as if you've got a £1 million, euro business, in your hand. It's gold. Be committed and believe in the end result. And I think once I knew what National Marketing Director meant, I knew I had to be there. I think that was really it for me. However long it took, I was going to get there. Yeah, that was that. And I think also, one quote that are we aware of Goethe, Johann Goethe, the philosopher? And he talked about commitment. Look it up. Basically, what he said in short is, once you are committed, once you commit to what you are wanting to achieve, all manner of heaven and earth, etc., powers come to your assistance to help you achieve it. I've basically shortened it down there, but that's really what it is. It's, again, it's what you're thinking about is coming about, and what he had absolutely right. What you're committed to, you will make happen. Yeah. So be 100% committed, without a doubt. Fifth one is, what do we have with the company now? I mean, there was a time when the company didn't really do that much as a company, apart from the essential things, and that is make Juice Plus, of course, and pay us on time. Now we have more good tools, great tools than ever before. Great videos, everything you can possibly imagine, to help you to develop and build your business. But one of the ones that always worked for me, and I know it's worked for some of the biggest names in our business, and that is the 825 and 1. Yeah, the 825 and 1 or 1001. As a principle, it is one of the best principles of business building, I think, that will help you not only develop your business to higher levels, but also help you to go clubs, to build your clubs by just duplicating. Julia Kravchuk uses it totally, from the moment she gets going, basically with a new person. 1001, 825 and 1 in pounds. As a principle, I've got a few old, thick plaques up there where I was doing that, and I still do. At the end of the day, it's a great business principle. You don't have to get hundreds of distributors or customers. It's about getting a few that will make the business grow. That's really what it is, and develop it on from there. And finally, as a bonus 6, is just enjoy it. Just enjoy this business. You have the power to change life. We talk about inspiring healthy living, but we have the power to change lives for the better. So we should always enjoy what we do, shouldn't we? Yeah, that's basically it. Those are my 5/6.
Oh, Sean, they were absolutely amazing. I've taken so many notes. And the Daniel de McKelly, I don't know if I pronounced that correctly.
Yeah. He was. I remember watching this videotape. It was like a copy of a copy of a copy in the days when it was Oriental, but it wasn't green. It wasn't supposed to be green, but he looked green on this video.
I've got it written down. Sorry, I keep interrupting.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I've got it along with loads of other notes and some incredible top tips. So we really, really appreciate you coming on tonight.
You're very welcome. Very welcome.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
You're very welcome. Yeah.
Okay, everybody. So thank you all very much for joining us this evening. Thanks to all of our incredible speakers. Thanks to Sean all the way from Holland for joining us. And thank you, James, for arranging. And if you've got any questions at all, please go back to whoever invited you on, and they will be more than happy to help. And we shall see you same time next week. Bye, everyone.
Take care. Thank you. Thanks, Sarah. Thank you very much, Sean. Take care.
Cheers,
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.